If you're having fun tonight, it's because of Herbert. Herbert, you have been in a marriage of two professional academics and church leaders for a long time. You encouraged this situation from the beginning. And you have been aware of the joys, costs, and challenges to your family. You and Phyllis have consulted and prayed about opportunities to serve as they arose, and you also found ways to balance the needs of family and careers. For this alone, as your beloved Phyllis retires, we can honor you. We can also honor you because of some of the things that have already been said about your own distinguished life and career, but that would take us through 1 a.m., and I don't think we're prepared to do that. What we can do is to hold up your contributions in the last 9 years, as has been said, as the first gentleman of PLTS.
I say gentleman, but she has to be the first lady.
No, she's the president. You're a gentleman. Is Herbert a gentleman? And a scholar. If there is any doubt remaining, we can dispel it by saying you are the master of hospitality.
Amen.
If we were in Japan, you would be called a national treasure. You are also a very personal and energetic teacher, having become a leading international voice in the field of pastoral care and theology. I don't know if people know that. Even though you cannot walk on your hands.
I thought you know that story.
That's right. You can walk through the field, history of the field, pointing out meaningful landmarks and explicating streams of thought. You have been an inestimable bonus to the faculty of PLTS, and you will be deeply missed. You're one of the most generous persons I know, or that any of my predecessors in the Office of Seminary Relations knows. You are a fan of the Giants, I forgive you that.
Indeed, where are you?
Of the opera, of the symphony, of what else? You are a well-rounded Renaissance man. You are the writer of how many books? I don't know, but I know that all of them are on the Amazon all-time bestseller list, as well as being a contributor and editor of professional publications. You are a carrier of tradition, being active in the Augustana Heritage Society, and an apt conveyor of the bright moments and brilliant personalities of that religious movement. And you, for several years, have carried virtually on your shoulders the week of renewal that happens at the end of June. But perhaps most pertinently tonight, you are a supporter of Phyllis and Herbert, for which alone we bow before you. We are not able to give to you a gift that would compensate you fully for all that you have given and meant to this institution. But we understand that there is a place in your backyard, a patio, that is in need of a suitable chair, one of suitable height, with a seat for you to relax in, one that is not too low. And we hope that this chair meets your criteria. Is it coming? Yes, it's coming. Isn't that dramatic? She's not making faces.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, my gracious. I shall sit.
Sit down.
We also have a few other things for you. And they come in a giant's bag to help you when you're out there in the sun. This is to go with your treasured sweatshirt, and it will adjust there.
Okay.
And there's a wine of the old vine Zinfandel. There's a bit of chocolates in there. Do you eat chocolates? I'm not sure. This is all purely symbolic, Herbert, and from the deep part of our hearts, we wish to give you thanks for everything that you have meant to PLTS and to the First Family. And we're going to toast Phyllis first, but I believe it's proper for us first to toast Herbert Anderson. Would you please stand and raise your glasses to the first gentleman of PLTS, Reverend Dr. Herbert Anderson. Here. It's tricky. Do you want to say anything? Yes.
Well, thank you. It has been an astonishing time, and it has been, I'll say in a moment, an astonishing journey with Phyllis. She began her life in Baltimore and then Portland, but then for the most of it in Seattle, in San Francisco. And then we married, as you saw on the pictures, the picture of the young couple, the cleric and the young woman, if you remember that picture, that was our second date on Easter. And we were engaged shortly thereafter and then married on August 23rd, 50 years ago, this coming summer. But I want to say one thing just to you, Chris, because it's a special connection that I have with CLU. I interned at Angelica Lutheran Church. And yes, right, okay. I interned at Angelica Lutheran Church in Los Angeles in 1960-61. And I remember going with Carl Segerhammer, sated mentor in my life. I remember going with him to the chicken farm that had just been given to the Lutheran Church. And there was a lot of poop. I mean to tell you, there was a lot of chicken poop around. And there were a lot of Quonset huts. And I'm just delighted to go back to CLU and see, I hope we never lose that image of that architectural image of the Quonset hut. I know it's a problem. But that's just so wonderful for me to think about what has happened between you and Phyllis. And this is 1960, 61, and then I came to San Francisco to Citrus Heights and came to PLTS for a summer school the year after my ordination because they had a special retraining program for clergy. And it was very hard for people to understand why I was just finishing seminary and I needed retraining. All right. But we were very grateful for that. So my time goes back to 1963 at PLTS. Now, what are we going to do? Okay. I'm going to study that. We have, by the way, in our house in Sonoma. Can you hear me all? We have in our house, it was advertised as having 3 entertainment centers. That means that there are, so you wonder why we bought it, right? So there are 3 little segments to the deck. They're divided slightly. But that means we can find people in 3 different deck areas. So you all come. Trinitarian.
That's right. Phyllis, I wonder if you would be our guest and come up onto the
my feet will touch the ground.
You get it.
So Phyllis, you have heard some of the myriad reasons, of course, why you are so dear to us and to the seminary and to the ELCA. And with Joel Waddell, you were responsible for bestowing upon many people the title of champion of PLTS. Many of those people are here tonight. To be a champion means to have contributed extraordinarily to the life and mission of this place. You could have qualified to become a champion of PLTS many years ago. But it is not proper to give the award to yourself. Now we are prepared and ready to name you among those numbers in recognition of extraordinary and graceful leadership provided during challenging and exciting times for theological education within this institution and the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary of Berkeley, California is pleased to bestow on the Reverend Dr. Phyllis Anderson the title of PLTS Champion.
Wait, there's more.
There's more.
I have a gift for you, that a group of colleagues and friends of yours want to give you as a way to say gracias, thank you. But we cannot give it to you until August of next year, so you'll have to wait. So we'll give you a little preview of it. I have the honor to be guest editing a volume in your honor.
No.
Sí. A festschrift that is going to be published in Currents for Theology and Mission. And we kept it a secret. Yes, very good. Yes. Not easy, but you did it great. The theme, one guess, theological education for today. The group of contributors and all who were asked said yes, are representatives of parts of your life. The first one represents a big part of your life is your own Herb Anderson.
Little help from my children.
Yes, Herb is going to chronicle all your contributions to the theme, and it's going to bring other people to do that. I'm going to have a little part there, so PLTS is represented also. And then we'll pick up the story at Wartburg Seminary, and Bunny and Dick Jensen are writing an article for that. And then we'll go to LSTC, the seminary in Chicago, and Katie Billman is contributing to that. Then we'll go to Seattle U, and Cynthia Mo Levita is contributing to that. And from the ELCA, we have Karen Blomquist and Jonathan Strandyard. And to put it all together, we'll have the executive director of the Association for Theological Schools, Dan Elshire. Sí. So you have to wait until August for that. For your
We also have a non-scripted presentation that is by Bishop Mark Holmrud of the Sierra Pacific Synod. The bishop who shows up. That's what Phyllis calls Mark.
Yes, I know you're moving. This will be one more thing to pack. The connected part of your leadership at PLTS has been very much in evidence in the relationship that we have had between the Sierra Pacific Synod and PLTS, but not only our synod, the region, the church in the West, the ELCA. And hanging in our office in Sacramento in our conference room has been a painting that was made by the sister of Karen Idler, who's our executive assistant, who is a painter of some note. And this painting has been hanging as a reminder to us in the office of the deep and vital connection we've had with PLTS. And it was the idea of our staff to offer this to you two for your home in Sonoma as a way of living into the connection that that you have had with PLTS and continuing to have that. And I'll just invite you to open it now. And
it's appropriate that the fountain is not running. Because that's how she kept the seminary solvent.
Herb, sit down. All right. Well, many of you have been responsible for honoring Dr. Anderson by contributing toward a gift of great meaning to Phyllis. To make a presentation of that gift, I welcome forward board members Brad Berg and Kathy Dean. Let's move the podium
back. Well, what a wonderful, wonderful evening we've had. And thank you, Brian, and your staff for just putting on the most marvelous Thanksgiving that I think we could have ever imagined. It's been marvelous to be here. This is the second to last thing, so we're going to be brief. First of all, Brad, do you remember last year at our board meeting?
I do.
Yeah, you proposed that we get a special board gift for Phyllis.
Yep.
And you suggested a trip.
Someplace where they go, relax, enjoy themselves, and contemplate.
Right. A well-deserved trip. Somebody else suggested a rocking chair with her name on it, but I think these chairs fit much better.
Much better.
And someone else suggested maybe she could use a really nice convertible sports car. Of course, I had this great idea that she needed a lifetime membership to the spa up there so she could have continual mud baths. But smartly, I phoned Herbert to get his suggestion, and he said, there is no other way to honor Phyllis and no other way that she would be more pleased to be honored other than to donate to her fund that she's the mother of. And so that's what the board has chosen to do. You have all heard how marvelous this fund has helped students in the last 13 years. It was formed in 2000. Phyllis was the driving force behind it. And since that time, the fund has supported 800 students and distributed $7 million in scholarships. This year, 187 students were given full or partial scholarships. Oh, they're going
And they're going to stand up, too.
Yeah.
So get ready.
to wait.
So we will truncate some of these comments and we'll go right to those that were recipients of scholarships from the Fund for Leaders. Please stand up and be recognized.
All right. Here.
So the board talked about it, and we decided after Herb's wise advice to pursue this, and we decided we would kick off a campaign to establish a scholarship fund, the Reverend Dr. Phyllis Anderson Seminary Scholarship Endowment Fund at the ELCA, and to do that and have it become active, we had to have $25,000 minimum in it. So we said, as a board, we love Phyllis. She has given her heart to the organization. We said, let's make a challenge gift, and we're gonna pledge half of that as a board, $12,500. And today, pledges and receipts on that are over $29,000. Well, total, including the pledge. But we're not done. Because let me read the top 3 paragraphs. Oh, you want to read that, Kathy? I've got a copy of it right here. No, it isn't as nice as that. In thanksgiving to God for the gifts of life and all its blessings, the gift of faith and hope through Jesus Christ, the gift of the Holy Spirit, and the gift of love and nurture through the church, where we have shared faith and fellowship, we now respond with the decision to establish the Reverend Dr. Phyllis Anderson Seminary Scholarship Endowment Fund. The fund is intended as an expression of our thanksgiving and stewardship, with the hope that the ministries of Jesus Christ will be strengthened and extended in the life of this church. So, we do that, Phyllis, in honor of you, and it's a small honor, but it's one that is from our hearts. So, now let's get on to the additional ask here. We've got $29,000, and we've got an anonymous donor that has said that if anybody wants to write a check or make a pledge tonight or tomorrow at the service or through the end of next week to get this up to maybe $40,000, that donor will match dollar for dollar, 5,000 additional contributions. So, everybody, if you haven't had the opportunity yet, you've been thinking about it and you haven't gotten it done, it would be fabulous if you talk to Brian or Kathy or myself or any of the seminary staff, or tomorrow there'll be envelopes at the service. We'd love to get it up to a nice round $40,000 just to kick it off right. So, if you don't ask, you don't get, so I'm asking. Anyway, without further ado, we'll get off the stage and move on. Kathy, you want to present the certificate?
I just want to say I brought my big purse, so don't be embarrassed. I'll fill it up.
I also would be remiss if I didn't say that Steve Wright and Lori Eichman came to me and gave their annual check as a match for the annual fund, which I knew you would approve of, right? Because we want to give designated and seminary fund of $10,000. Thank you, Steve and Lori. That starts out our end of the year appeal before we even send out the letter. Herbert, so you're going to be the one to offer the toast to Phyllis, aren't you?
All right. Good.
You're a man of great stamina, Dr.
It has been, as Brian and I have talked together about this evening, and can you give it up for our children? Just one minute. They were once adolescents, though, so all of you out there, just bear with me. As Brian and I have talked about this evening, the real struggle has been, how do you honor somebody for whom it is not about her? And it never has been. I've been with her 50 years almost, and it never has been. I asked her the other day, so how do you count for all that you've done in all these different places? I mean, among the things you don't know is that the nursery school, what's it called? Noah's Ark at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in Dubuque, Iowa, that she started on internship, still exists. You know? So I asked her, how is it that you account for this? And she said, I just do what is put before me. Well, probably, but a little better than your average person. In our morning repas, around morning tea and a bagel or a bowl of cereal, I usually read the sports page first. That's a confession. And I read in the days of the Giants, always about the Giants. And there it was, on the sports page, a little quip from Vince Scully. And so it's so nice to end with a little connection to our dreaded Los Angeles Dodgers. Vince Scully, in case you are not a sports fan, has been the announcer for the Los Angeles Dodgers for a very long time. I think he's 86 years old, so it's been, I think, 60 years he's been broadcasting. And he has just been nominated to be the marshal for the 125th Rose Bowl Parade. And he first said no. And then his wife persuaded him. And here is what he said about it.